Wait a minute. Did I explain vitreous yet? To the back of the lens, what you get is what you got. Whatever you're born with, that's it. You don't get any more. It's actually a gel-like substance. When you dissect an eye, if you dissect it correctly, when you pick up the lens, it stays attached to the back of the lens. It's really cool, okay? So this is a gel-like substance. That light now has to go through all of that to get, I want to say get bent, but I know that doesn't sound right. Well, we have to bend. We have no choice. We've got to bend that ray of light because that's what's coming through for us to see. Now, that lens kind of does stay flattened, but it can change shape, okay? And those suspensory ligaments, like I showed earlier, which are attached to my ciliary body, okay, which is smooth muscle under autonomic control, affect the shape of my lens. This is how we get to see.
Is that gel transplantable?
Not that I know of. I've never heard of that. But is the gel, that vitreous body, transplantable? Not that I know of. So, to have that ray of light come in and hit the retina. The retina is the neural component. This is where we're going to have to turn the light into an action potential that can pass to the brain. So our retina, look at this. It's an outgrowth of my diencephalon. Anybody remember what that is?
It's like where the thalamus and hypothalamus.
It's where my thalamus and hypothalamus are. So, I now have the retina being an outgrowth of a primitive portion of my brain. Because y'all remember how I talked about that being the primitive portion? The retina is a thin, transparent membrane. It's attached to the eye at an area called the optic disc. This is where the nerve leaves the rear of the eye. The anterior margin, which looks like in the picture right behind the lens, is referred to as the ora serrata, serrated because of the way it looks behind the eye. Our vitreous humor, or vitreous body, presses against the retina at the rear of the eyeball, helping give it the round shape for that vitreous humor. In the back of the eye, near where that optic nerve exits, look at the term I have right here. We had it earlier, macula. That means a patch of cells. All right? This time, for the eye, they're termed the macula lutea. in the middle of them, they have a pit. And that is called the fovea centralis. Central means central in this macula, in this patch of cells. That is at the point I get detailed images. That's the only area of all of my eye that gives me a detailed image. Think about that for a second. I've got all this other anatomy of the eye. There's one tiny pit that lets me see detailed images.
So like, can people's eyes have different size pits? Like, is that why some people can?
I'm sure they would vary. Yeah, I'm sure they would vary from person to person. The rest of it is going to be stuff that's not going to be detailed. So that one little area is for detailed images. It's going to have a huge amount of those cells important for vision. The optic disc, the area where the nerve is going to leave the rear of the eyeball, all of the nerve fibers converge on that area and exit, and that's what we know as our optic nerve. So now, if we go back to our picture, that light has to come in, has to bend so that we can make it to the retina, so that it can turn into chemical information, basically the ions, and start an action potential for it to leave the eye. If you look at all of this structure, that right there is getting represented as the pit, the area that's going to give me detailed images. That's it. The macula that they're representing as this area of the patch of cells, okay, because that's what macula means, all right, a patch of cells. This little area, that would be the macula. This is where macular degeneration can occur. And if that's the area that contains the pit for my detailed images, what is happening to people who have macular degeneration?
It's breaking down and losing its ability to process images.
We're breaking down, Brian.
Yeah, distortion of images.
Yes, you're not going to see detail. And eventually, and I don't know if you guys have seen like the commercials and stuff, but the ones about AMD, age-related macular degeneration, and the vitamins that they want you to try to take for it and that sort of thing, okay? Very much something that happens as you get older. Take a break, we'll be back at 9:30.
I have no idea why.